Welcome to a meeting of your Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Representing District 1, Harry Cohen. Representing District 2, Ken Hagan. Representing District 3, Gwen Myers. Representing District 4, Christine Miller. Representing District 5, Donna Cameron Cepeda. Representing District 6, Chris Bowles. Representing District 7, Joshua Wostel. The County Administrator is Bonnie Wise. The County Attorney is Christine Beck. Time is set aside at the beginning of each meeting for citizens to speak on any issue. So we have time for everyone. Speakers are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. Today's meeting is brought to you with closed captioning by Hillsborough Television.
Good morning and welcome to the Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 regular scheduled board meeting in the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Would everyone please rise for the pledge and invocation given by our chaplain, Commissioner Gwen Myers.
I pledge allegiance and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you thanking you for another day. I ask Heavenly Father for a special blessing on the late Louis Betz family as we honor his family today and recognize his service and his contributions to our county. I also ask that you give a special blessing to the Delta Sigma Theta sorority in the services that they give to our youth and this community. Bless this meeting, that each board member would be deliverable in their speaking to each other. In your holy name I pray, amen.
Thank you, Commissioner Myers. The first item this morning is a very special award for the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners and the people of Hillsborough County. It is our pleasure to present the 2025 Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award. First, Vice Chair Miller will present the history of the award.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Board of County Commissioners established the Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award in 1996 to honor an individual or group for the significant role they play in improving government through leadership and vision. The Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award is named in honor of a respected government and civic leader who served 7 years on the Hillsborough County School Board and 21 years on the Board of County Commissioners. Through Mr. Simmons' efforts and involvements in such initiatives as the University of South Florida, Tampa International Airport, University Community Hospital, he helped transform Hillsborough County. Since the first Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award was presented to the late U.S. Rep. Sam Gibbons in 1997, Hillsborough County has had the pleasure and honor to recognize the achievements and lives of 28 other individuals whose dedication to public service has strengthened the county's legacy. Other past winners include Florida Speaker of the House H. Lee Moffitt, Judge E.J. Salsines, Governor Bob Martinez, and Crisis Center of Tampa Bay CEO Clara Reynolds. Last year's recipient was Dorothea Edgecombe, former member of the Hillsborough County School Board. First, I want to recognize the Simmons family and other members of the award selection committee. We are very pleased that we continue to have a member of the Simmons family involved in this award. Michelle Henry, the late commissioner's granddaughter, serves every year. We also thank the other committee members who made nominations and recommended the finalists. We appreciate your service. They are Michelle Henry, granddaughter of Ellsworth G. Simmons, Brenda Thrower, committee chair, Freddie Barton, Mackenzie Bergen, Joe Goodry, Tim Pearson, Mary Wood, and Pira Wong. Please stand if you are present today, and thank you all very much.
Well, this is always a very important award for the Board of County Commissioners, but this year is something very special. I'm profoundly honored to present the Good Government Award to Louis G. Betz, Jr. The individuals who earned this award over the past 28 years have contributed significant and positive impacts to Hillsborough County. These leaders shaped the community into what it is today. This year's recipient is our good friend, Louis G. Betz, Jr., a treasured local civic leader and consultant who dedicated his life to help our community thrive and prosper. This is a celebratory moment, but it's also bittersweet. Sadly, Louis passed away on January 20th, 2025, at the age of 61. His wife, Jill, and other family members are here today to accept the award on his behalf, and they're seated in the front row. Jill, to you and your family, on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, our deepest condolences for your loss. Thank you for sharing Louis with us and with the community throughout his life, and especially today. It is a privilege to honor a man who was a Hillsborough County native through and through. He was born in Tampa, grew up in Seminole Heights, and attended Edison Elementary, Middleton Junior High, and Hillsborough High School. He then earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science from the University of Tampa and a Master's in Public Administration from the University of South Florida, both while working full-time. Indeed, Louis Betz was a true devoted son of our beloved county. Even while in school, Mr. Betz began his political life as a volunteer for a congressional race in 1981. This passion for politics led him to a career as a campaign consultant in the Tampa Bay area. In 1993, he became a successful entrepreneur when he founded Louis Betz & Associates, Inc., which became a full-service lobbying firm at both the state and local levels. His clients range from Fortune 500 companies to small startups, as well as nonprofits. His campaign experiences included local, state, and federal candidates from both sides of the aisle. He proved again and again that he did not care if a person was a Republican or a Democrat. If they were working to improve our state, and especially Hillsborough County, he would do whatever it took to help that individual win office. A handshake to Mr. Betz was everything, and if he said he was going to do something, you knew it was going to happen. He was extremely knowledgeable of state and local politics and was always willing to listen to all ideas and provide an honest opinion. In fact, today, May 7th, is the 32nd anniversary of the founding of Louis Betz & Associates, and it's still thriving today. Congratulations to you all. His love for our community was something to behold. Most notably, he dedicated his life to key legislation that has improved our way of life. In addition to leading the charge to pass the Mark Wendell Traffic Safety Act, which allows cities and counties to implement and utilize red light camera safety programs, Mr. Betz partnered with the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay and various other organizations to help pass landmark sexual assault legislation, the Walk in Their Shoes Act. This signature legislation provides additional assistance to victims, allows for greater admissions of evidence for prior crimes committed by defendants, and requires emergency rooms to arrange for gathering of forensic medical evidence for victims of sexual violence. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't share that in 2014, Louis brought back the annual Hillsborough Day in Tallahassee, which showcases the area during the Florida legislative session, and it continues every year. A truly proud moment for our county and for Louis. And to go off script just for a quick moment, I remember that the day back in, 2013, 2014, when Louis called me and he said, "Do you believe Hillsborough County doesn't have a Hillsborough Day in Tallahassee? We have Miami Day and Dade County Day and all these other counties, and it's a little bit embarrassing." He goes, "Yeah, the county stopped funding it during the past recession," and he goes, "I'm just going to take the bull by the horns and get this done." And if you knew Louis, that's the kind of guy that he was, and we've had it ever since. More recently, he devoted his time to charitable causes such as founding More Transplant, More Life in 2020, whose mission is to increase the number of organ transplants and provide support for patients and living donors. In 2023, on behalf of the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay and working with Hillsborough County and Sheriff Chad Chronister, Louis helped facilitate the opening of the second Certified Rape Crisis Center in Ruskin to serve the growing population in South County. He's especially well-known, respected, and revered for his commitment to serving on numerous local organizations such as the Italian Club, the Joshua House Board of Directors, the University of Tampa Board of Counselors, the Tampa Homeowners Association of Neighborhoods, also known as THAN, and the Wellswood Civic Association. Mr. Betz also served on the Board of Directors of the Museum of Science and Industry, known as MOSI, and secured millions of dollars in state funding to further its mission of educating and inspiring our young people. Most importantly, the greatest success of Louis Betz' life was serving as a devoted husband to Jill, a loving father to his daughter Victoria Betz Yost, son Louis Betz III, and son-in-law Matt Yost, and an unabashedly doting grandfather to Matthew Yost Jr. and Elizabeth Yost. With such an amazing family, it's no surprise that one of his favorite quotes was, "I'm the happiest man you'll ever meet." Two other quotes he loved were, "All of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." And his own quote, which he lived by every day, "You can't beat relentless." Hillsborough County and the state of Florida have become prosperous due to the efforts and leadership of Louis G. Betz Jr. Jill, your husband provided tremendous leadership to Hillsborough County and the state of Florida for decades. This honor further illustrates how significant his accomplishments have been. His service to others sets an example for us all and embodies the spirit of the Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award. In addition to this trophy, his name has been added to the perpetual plaque that lists all Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award winners. It is displayed outside our boardroom here on the second floor of County Center. We are so grateful for his work and the dedication to our community. The Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners expresses its congratulations and deepest regards to you and your beloved family. This time I'd like to invite Mr. Betz's daughter, Victoria Betz Yost, to come forward to the podium. Victoria, before I ask you to say a few words, I just want to say, you know, for me, that your dad was an incredibly special man who touched so many people and organizations. I want to say I'm honored to call Louis a good friend. I learned so much from him and am a better man because of it. I'm so very sorry for your loss. Get a buddy here. And if you'd like to, you want to say a few words.
Thank you. My name is Victoria Betz Yost. I'm the proud daughter of Louis George Betz Jr. On behalf of my mom, my brother Louis III, my husband Matt, and my two kids, Elizabeth and Matthew Jr., I want to thank the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners and the Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award Committee for this incredible honor. Standing here today is bittersweet, as it marks the 32nd anniversary of the founding of Louis Betz and Associates. There is immense pride, of course, but also a profound sense of loss. My family and I are deeply honored and humbled to accept this award on behalf of my father, Louis George Betz Jr. While he is not physically here to receive this recognition himself, I know without a doubt how much this would have meant to him. He dedicated his life to his community and his work. He poured his heart and soul into helping others. He never sought accolades or recognition. He was driven by a passion for his work, a love of his family, and to make a difference in our community. This award is a beautiful affirmation of the impact he made and the legacy he leaves behind. To the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners and the Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award Committee, thank you so much for seeing and acknowledging his contributions. Your recognition helps to keep his memory and his work alive. Dad, accepting this award for you is such a huge honor. I know you'd have a humble smile on your face and a tear in your eye. Thank you all again.
Before we take a picture, I know we have the clerk of the court, Senator Chris, that's sitting up here with us. I'd like to invite Senator Chris to say a couple words, and if any other commissioner would like to make any comments at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No one could have said it better than you just did. I'd like to just take a moment to thank the Board of County Commissioners and all of those who made this possible today. I've known Louis since college. We were close friends. He is everything that the chairman said and more. The extent of the impact that he has had in our lives and in improvement of quality of life, we'll all never really, ever really know. I know he fought for and pushed through protections for consumers in the livery business, taxi cabs, in the healthcare industries, as well as in the towing industries, and the list just goes on. To the Betz family, Jill and you and the family, thank you so much for sharing him with us. You know, Louis, a couple of quotes, Mr. Chairman, and then I'm done. He always used to say, Victor, it doesn't matter who you are. What matters is what you do. And he couldn't have been more right, and he always lived his life that way. And to those of us that were close to him, we always knew that we couldn't talk to him on Saturdays and Sundays, that was family time. And he always said, Victor, memories are the most valuable things you will have and accumulate in life. Leave me alone on the weekends. That's my memory time. And he loved his family more than anything in the world, and it just radiated off of him. I miss him dearly. Mr. Chairman, thank you for this opportunity.
Okay, if Thane would like to join us for a quick photo.
That's the only one I could see, so he was
Board members, before Commissioner Myers moves with our next presentation, I would like to take just a quick moment and share a project that I've been working on with the county administrator for the last couple of months. That is to establish a permanent gallery in the main lobby of the county center dedicated to the current and future recipients of the Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award. If you look at the monitors, I believe they're going to show a quick rendering of what that will look like. I think it's absolutely stunning. And I think it's fitting that we showcase our highly honored citizens for their selflessness and for their contributions and effort to make our community such a remarkably special place. I hope that their portraits will be an inspiration to others. Staff will continue to work on the details, and I look forward to a formal unveiling later this year. So with that, Commissioner Myers will present our next award.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Will Audrey Sullivan Moore, Social Action Chair of the Tampa Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, please join me at the podium? Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Now I would like to ask that the other members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority who are in the audience to please stand so we can recognize you. You look so pretty in your red and white. I thought I'd wear some green to represent the part of the Divine Nine. You may be seated. Just show some love today. This is one of my favorite times of year, a truly great tradition. Each spring, the boards present a proclamation to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, honoring its steadfast efforts and unwavering dedication to the community. 2 alumni chapters, Delta Alumni and Tampa Metropolitan Alumni, along with 2 collegiate chapters, Kappa Iota at the University of South Florida and Tau Iota at the University of Tampa, provides outstanding service and support to our residents. They make a world of a difference in our community. For their efforts, I am proud to honor them and the entire sisterhood today with this proclamation. And the proclamation reads, whereas Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is a private not-for-profit organization of college educated women whose purpose is to aid and support through established programs in local communities throughout the world, an extensive array of public service initiatives delivered through its 5-point programmatic thrust. Since its founding in 1913, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated has clearly distinguished itself as an organization that boldly confronts the challenges of African Americans and hence all Americans. Membership consists of more than 350,000 initiated members who are accountants, CEOs of nonprofit organizations, CEOs of major corporations, doctors, engineers, judges, lawyers, nurses, and presidents of universities, just to name a few. And whereas Delta Sigma Theta's primary objective are to engage in cultural, educational, and service-oriented activities while establishing and upholding cultural, intellectual, and moral standards. As a dedicated service organization, its primary focus is the 5-point programmatic thrust: economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. And whereas engaging in social action is a fundamental part of the sorority's mission to address each component of its 5-point programmatic thrust, which begins with the participation in the women's suffrage march in 1913. The sorority continues to advance their mission as a non-governmental organization, member of the United Nations, National Social Action Commission, and D4 Women in Action. And whereas the 2 alumni chapters, Tampa Alumni chartered in 1947, and Tampa Metropolitan Alumni chartered in 2003, and the 2 collegiate chapters, Kappa Iota at the University of South Florida, chartered in 1973, and Chi Iota at the University of Tampa, chartered in 2001, provides community service and support to residents of Hillsborough County. They use their efforts to serve as a vehicle for advocacy that affects social change and public policy, supporting quality education and granting scholarships to high school seniors, producing new projects to stimulate current and future economic growth, and providing the holistic well-being of minority population locally, nationally, and globally. And whereas notable members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated are Dr. Paulette C. Walker, 25th National President, former State Senator Arthenia Joyner, the state's former Democrat leader, the Honorable Frenchers Driscoll, Florida House of Representatives Minority Leader, and Florida House of Representatives District 67, the Honorable Charlene Edwards Honeywell, United States District Judge, Middle District of Florida, and Gwendolyn Henderson, Tampa City Council, District 5, and whereas honoring their 36th annual Delta Day at the nation's capital, the theme, Forwarding with Fortitude, Defending Our Rights, Advocating for Justice, the Social Action Committee of the Tampa chapters are convening this 19th annual Delta Day at the County Commission. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hillsborough County, Florida, does hereby declare May 7, 2025, as the 19th annual Delta Day in Hillsborough County, and commends the Tampa chapters of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated on their years of continued exemplary service in Hillsborough County and its citizens. Executed the 7th day of May, 2025. Congratulations, Chair Moore. Oh, we can show some love. I read a whole mouthful, but you all accomplished so much. So please share a few comments with us. And state your name, too.
Good morning. My name is Karen Paget Beard, and I am the president of the Tampa Alumni Chapter. We are so thankful this morning to receive this recognition from the Hillsborough County Commissioners and from the county as a whole. We are Delta, we are change, and we are social action. And we are so proud to be able to be change agents to make this place, Hillsborough County, where we live, a better place for everyone. So on behalf of the more than 500 alumni members working hard here in Hillsborough County, along with our collegiate chapters at the University of South Florida and the University of Tampa, we thank you and appreciate you for your support and helping us achieve the goals. Thank you.
Go ahead. And as a part of the Divine Nine, we appreciate all that Delta Sigma Theta sorority has to offer and give of your time and yourself to improve the lives of our young people, and that's what's important because we know they are our future leaders. So I'm going to ask the other Delta sisters to come on up and join us in the picture, and we'll move right back to the back to take the picture. Come on up and look pretty, and we can get this done in like a half a second. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Bonnie, you want to review the changes to the agenda?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. We have two off the agenda items. The first one was the proclamation you just heard, presented by Commissioner Myers on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, declaring May 7, 2025 as the 19th annual Delta Day in Hillsborough County. We have item F1 by Commissioner Cameron Cepeda to request staff to provide a comprehensive update on road construction projects and traffic signal installations near Morgan High School that are scheduled for completion prior to the beginning of the new school year in August. We have one revision or correction to the agenda. This is item G1, which is now a time certain at 10:30, is to receive a report on potential indoor and outdoor sports facility sites. We have several items for time certain. The first one is item D1 at 10 o'clock. This is to conduct a public hearing to receive citizens' input and discuss whether to arbitrate a Tampa Bay water use permit application. We have several items that are related to each other. They are items B1, B2, and B3. This is at 10:15. This is to adopt a resolution for land exchange between Hillsborough County and Ybor City Holdings to exchange 5 Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Operations Center parcels located in Ybor City for property at 9927 Delaney Lake Drive on Falkenberg Road, near the Falkenberg area location. Item B2 is to approve an interlocal agreement between the county and Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office to fund $48,784,000 in property modifications, capital improvements, and relocation costs associated with the property being acquired. Item B3 is to approve a Fifth Amendment to the lease agreement between Hillsborough County and Ybor Varedo and Ybor City Holdings for the Entrepreneurial Collaboration Center. This is for this, if the property exchange should go forward, this is to provide parking across the street near the ECC for a lease term of 180 days before the redevelopment of the lot. Item G1 is at 10:30. This is to receive a report on potential indoor and outdoor sports facility sites. 11:45 is a recess for lunch. Those are the changes to the agenda.
We have a motion to approve the
Move
changes.
for approval.
Motion, Commissioner
Second.
Myers, second, Commissioner Miller. Please record your vote on changes to the agenda. Okay, the board will go into public comment portion of the agenda. The board welcomes comments from the citizens on any issue or concern. Your opinions are valued in terms of providing valuable input to board members. However, at the same time, it is requested when you speak that you do not direct comments directly to board members or the staff, but rather the issues. We've set aside 45 minutes for public comment this morning. Please state your name, speak clearly in the microphone, and each person will be called in the order in which they've signed up to speak. The first three speakers this morning are Denise Herndon, followed by Eric Goldstein, and then Robert Bader. Good morning.
I'm Denise Herndon. I'm here to talk on A33, the computer products that you're planning on buying. Last month it was about the actual machines, and now this is the software. As I've said before, your sheriff's department, including the body cams, have been hacked into. I can prove what I'm saying. I've been trying to do this since 2022, and nobody, FDLE, nobody is helping me. Computers are great for good people. Locks are for honest people. They aren't for people that want to do something against you. Somebody that wants to do something against you, all the hacking and everything, I know one person, Shirlene Hammond, when she was my son's school bus driver, got my son at 10 and a half involved in the dark web. Like I said, computers are great for good people, but for dishonest people in the medical field, they can eliminate allergies, put something in there you're not supposed to be having. You guys can't do anything about the medical records that are falsified and hacked of mine, but you can do something about the sheriff records and the clerk of the court. Are you guys just going to sit on your thumbs and rotate? Because that's what I think you're doing. Something has to be done about this, and you watch and see. I will prove what I'm saying here. Or is it your contributors to get you on this board that you're afraid of? There's nothing wrong with fame and fortune. I'm not a social climber, obviously. It's what you do to get that fame and fortune, what you do to keep it, and the person you become because of it. What are you county commissioners gonna do with your computer systems hacked? Anybody can accuse anybody of anything. This little cell phone here is nothing but a computer. I had child porn popping up on it. I wonder if that's what happened to the fire chief that ended up killing himself, that was accused of child porn. This is what, if somebody wants something that you have, they will take it away from you. Look what they've done to Trump. All of it, the media is nothing but putting him down. But you guys can stand up for this and do something. Nobody else here can. FDLE, they keep running me around. I've been there last year and I've been here this year. Something needs to be done. I'll never give up. I'll never back down. You watch and see.
Thank you, Ms. Herndon. Eric Goldstein, followed by Robert Bader, and then Tim D. Giuseppe. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity to address this commission. On behalf of the West Chase community, we thank you all for all of the work that you do on behalf of our community. My name is Rick Goldstein. I'm the Vice President for Government Affairs for the West Chase Community Association, and I'm here to speak about the proposed crosswalk on Linebaugh. We are opposed to it. I have here to submit, and Bonnie, do you want me to give this to you? This is a petition that's been signed by majority of people within the West Chase and surrounding areas. The voting members, West Chase is governed by 3 groups, the CDD, the voting members, and the WCA board itself. The board of WCA board and the voting members have voted unanimously to oppose the crosswalk for the following reasons. 1, we already have 2, if not 3, safety issues already in place. There's a crosswalk. There are traffic signals. There are crossing guards. There is also a school bus to transport the kids from West Park Village across to the school and back. I followed that bus a couple of times. Got there in the morning as it traversed throughout West Park Village. Got there in the afternoon as it went from the school back to West Park Village. The crosswalk is more of a convenience. A concern that we have in West Chase is that a true safety issue exists with the sidewalks. Our understanding is that there's not enough money to help mitigate the problems that we have with our sidewalks. Yet, it's going to cost close to $1 million that the county has been able to find in which to do this convenience of a crosswalk. So we are opposed to it, and we ask that you join us in opposing this particular project as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Robert Bader, and then a Tim, I'm not going to mess your name up again, and then a Matthew Rector, who's virtual. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm Robert Bader. I'm speaking in opposition to the West Chase Elementary crosswalk. When I mentioned this meeting to a neighbor, his response was, well, who would oppose putting a crosswalk in front of an elementary school? And ordinarily, he'd be right. Adding a crosswalk, adding flashing lights to an existing crosswalk would improve safety. However, in this case, installing a crosswalk in front of West Chase Elementary will actually reduce safety and increase traffic risks, paradoxically. And let me explain why. The existing traffic infrastructure, as Rick just mentioned, represents kind of a gold standard of traffic, of pedestrian management. Right? You have traffic lights, you have crossing guards, and you have clear, unimpeded access. Right? And for years, this system has worked. Adding a crosswalk in front of West Chase Elementary is going to shift all that pedestrian traffic, a lot of it, from that intersection to a much more problematic solution. And let me explain why. First, these pedestrian-activated flashing lights have much lower driver compliance than traffic lights, which just makes intuitive sense, since it's still a relatively rare technology we're using. Drivers don't really know how to interact with it, right? Some yield, slow down, but don't necessarily stop. Secondly, you already have flashing lights in the school zone, the safety zone, right? So when you add these other lights in there, they're not going to have the same impact as they ordinarily would. And then thirdly, pickup at West Chase, what happens is the car line backs up in the right-hand lane, so you really lose visibility on the right. You only have the left-hand lane going westbound. And then you have all the trees in the median area. So the visibility is really restricted. To put a crosswalk in the middle of that is just asking for trouble. Now, the only beneficiaries of this crosswalk, this $1 million crosswalk, besides the current few jaywalkers, will be a small number of West Park Village families who will have a shorter commute. However, these families right now have the shortest commute of anybody to the school because they live right across from the school. So with all due respect to my West Chase neighbors, these should be the last families that receive funding to shorten their commute. So with all the challenges facing Hillsborough County, a project that increases pedestrian risks and rewards those who really least need it seems like a poor use of county funds. So I strongly urge the committee to disapprove this request. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Tim? And then we have a Matthew Rector virtual, followed by Ellsworth Williams and Elisa Rodriguez. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Tim DeGespie. I've lived in West Chase for 30 years, retired from Tampa Police Department, took a position to continue my public service at Davidson Middle School. After being there for about a year, I saw how bad the traffic was, which I've heard about the entire time I've lived there. I realized the issues were created by heavy traffic congestion. I'm the one that wrote the letter, Commissioner Cohen, and sent it to your office, and I appreciate the effort that was put forth in the study that was done by Burgess and Nipple. It was a very detailed report which listed several safety concerns and enhancements. One of the enhancements, or one of the safety enhancements, is listed as the crosswalk. However, with all the safety concerns that were listed, there is no pros or cons to any of these. Frankly, I am not in favor of some of the safety concerns that were listed for Davidson Middle School. I'm the one that's out there every day. That's one of my jobs at Davidson Middle School, is the bus coordinator, and I'm out in the parking lots. Like I said, I'm echoing what Robert and Eric have already said. We are not in favor of this for the community. Traffic congestion creates a lot of problems. It creates safety problems. I don't believe that that the crosswalk, this mid-block crosswalk, is going to help anything. There already exists a crosswalk at the traffic signal that is not far away. The statistics in the traffic study that was done do not support this crosswalk. They document the crashes with pedestrians, 0 in the last 5 years, 7 traffic crashes, period, in the last 5 years with vehicles. I'm not aware of the 30 years that I've lived there that there have been any pedestrian crashes there, even with the people crosswalk or jaywalking across the road, which the study documents 6 people. The elementary school is provided with transportation for the kids that live in West Park Village. That's what this is about. This is why a few people have brought this up to get this done. Because they want to cross Linebaugh Avenue, which is a heavily traveled road, right in front of the school, instead of walking down to the traffic light and crossing. So we're going to cause a lot of traffic congestion for just a few people. And that's what's going to happen. When I started working at Davidson, it's no different than any other school in Hillsborough County, except for one thing. It's the only school that I'm aware of. There's a one-way in and one-way out. That creates a lot of problems. Causes a lot of traffic, a lot of safety for the kids on the bikes, the scooters, and walking.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you
comments very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming down. Is there Matthew Rector on the line?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Rector did not sign it.
Okay, thank you. Ellsworth Williams? Ellsworth here. Lisa Rodriguez? No? Okay, Betty Jo Tompkins, followed by Layla Lelyquist, and then Randall Munsters. Good morning.
Good morning, Board of County Commissioners and staff. My name is Lisa Rodriguez from Brandon, Florida. I come to you today to speak concerning our 68th year of our Brandon 4th of July parade. I have been a part of the parade committee for 15 years in different capacities. Since 2010, when I became the honorary mayor of Brandon, I have continued to serve my community and the parade. As a young girl, I can remember a time when the parade went down State Road 60, believe it or not, and Dick Stowers, who was a fine gentleman in Brandon, celebrated his July 4th birthday by dressing up as a clown and walking through the entire parade, shaking hands with everyone he saw, and giving us kids candy. That was quite a treat. And those were the days. However, Brandon has grown a lot since 1969, but we still come together for our July 4th parade. As current president of the all-volunteer organization that now presents our parade, which is called Greater Brandon Action Network, Incorporated, I have a great concern that this year's parade will not happen without your intervention. In March this year, we attended our first parade meeting with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department, Homeland Security, and Temporary Traffic Control. At that meeting, they told us about the new requirement of the full-length barricades that had to be rented at our own expense of $25,000. So we began the task of trying to raise the sponsor monies to pay for these, as well as our normal expenses, which was about $8,000 last year. And we were able to raise that and provide the parade to the community. We also found out too late about the Special Event Partnership Grant through the Arts Council of Hillsborough County. However, we found out that it's also only given twice a year, and their deadlines and awards had been done for the 2025 spring. So we did go ahead and write the grant, and we have it ready to go. But again, we missed the deadlines on that. So we need your help with this barricade requirement in the form of a waiver for this year, or the county could cover the cost.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. I appreciate your comments, and I'll just say that you're not alone with your concern with the barricade condition. And
Thank you.
I think there'll be a future discussion on that item. Betty Jo Tompkins.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Betty Jo Tompkins, followed by Layla Lelyquist, and then Randall Munsters. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Betty Jo Tompkins, and I'm from Brandon, Florida. Have you thought about what makes Hillsborough County unique and great? I believe it comes down to the sense of community that exists in the inner city, urban, suburban, and rural areas dotted throughout Hillsborough County. And this sense of community is exhibited throughout each and every year by celebrations and traditions that we hold dear. And so it is with Brandon's 4th of July parade that has grown and covered 68 years. From 4-H'ers proudly riding magnificent horses, to hundreds of scouts marching and waving flags at the horizon, to multi-school band members playing beautiful music. There's something of excitement for both the young and the young at heart. And then there's the multiple civic and service organizations that provide tractors, antique cars, slingshot cars, and floats of every time showcasing the very best of Brandon. This kaleidoscope of colors and cacophony of sounds will be silenced without Hillsborough County's help. In recent weeks, we were informed of the need to have barricades covering both sides of the parade route at the cost of $25,000. Our committee had already diligently worked to actually change the route. Otherwise, the cost for these barricades, which we were just informed about, would have been over $30,000. Simply impossible for us to come up with at this point. The new route is selected includes enhanced safety features to continue the parade's commitment to protecting participants and spectators alike. In light of this situation, we request that Hillsborough County provide the Greater Brandon Action Network, sponsors of the parade, with a waiver for the 2025 parade, or that the county itself pick up the cost of this as a community service. Your kind consideration of this matter is greatly appreciated, and I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tompkins. Next up is Layla Lelyquist, followed by Randall Munster, both in person.
Good morning, County Commissioners. Layla Lelyquist, Brandon, Florida. I'm here to address and welcome you to the Brandon's 68th 4th of July Parade. Our parade this past year was a huge success, in part because of the great collaboration of many different departments of Hillsborough County in coordinating with the Greater Brandon Action Network. This year, going forward, our not-for-profit has been asked to pay for barricades to rent for approximately $25,000. Our budget for the parade exceeds $10,000, which our wonderful sponsors have helped to cover the cost. We ask that the barricades should not be a part of this year's parade. Serving as chair of the parade last year, we implemented water stations along the route, which made a huge difference. However, after the hurricanes, we've lost a lot of trees. As a visionary, I thought it would be a lot safer if we had a tree-shaded route for the safety of our guests and our participants. The new route saves the county incurred cost of closing Kings Avenue, as well as not letting the parade end in front of this public supermarket, which also causes a lot of dangerous traffic problems because Publix is opened. Temporary traffic control agreed with the new route. They thought it was a great idea. We cut the length of the parade down by about a half a mile. We cut out Robertson with no trees, and we have a safe place for our marching band not to have a heat stroke in the final lap of the parade. We'd like to go forward with our traditional parade on the new route. We have Parks and Recreation that deliver the barricades, which we store and we put up with volunteers. And we do our road closures on Lumsden, and we make sure that everything is safe. We have lots of sheriff's deputies at every corner, and we work with our volunteers to set all those barricades up that we do put up. However, we cannot afford to pay for the barricades to cover the entire parade route. And I wanted to mention that our understanding is that the Lutz Parade requested for exemption and has been granted that they will not have to have the barricades at their 4th of July parade this year. Why on earth is the 4th of July parade in Brandon not granted that exemption immediately? Please grant this exemption so we can get on with our work of having a great 4th of July parade and less stress, because we deserve a little help from the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Randall Munster in person, followed by Nicholas Adkins virtual.
Good morning, all. I want to thank you for seeing us. I'm also Randall Munsters from Lakeland, Florida, and part of the Greater Brandon Action Network. I'm the treasurer and also the unique position of the parade marshal for that. I have been doing that for several years, and even though I am from Lakeland, Florida, the parade has been a special thing for us. And for me, I make that commute. It's a wonderful tradition, wonderful for families. And the parade barriers, I'm not even sure how well they would be as a safety. If you could picture a horrific visualization of somebody plowing into a crowd, what would be worse, a motorcycle or a plow? If you're looking at this, those barricades become the plow. If somebody were to actually run into those, it's not affecting just what's in front of it, but those to the sides of it. And getting out of the way is hardly an option, as they only have one direction to go, back or possibly to the sides. I ask that you take a look at this and make sure that this is actually something that we can be able to accomplish and actually help the community be at one, making it still a family tradition for the 68 years that it's been on. I appreciate all your time and efforts. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Munsters. Next is Nicholas Atkins virtual.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time. My name is Nicholas Akins. My wife and I are homeowners in West Park Village. I'm here today on behalf of my neighbors and fellow parents to voice our strong support and gratitude for the county's plans to build a new crosswalk at West Chase Elementary School. As parents of a young boy who will soon attend West Chase Elementary, this new crosswalk could not come at a better time. This will give us more options to safely walk our son to and from school. It will lead to a healthier community, less traffic and congestion, and improve the lives of our students, residents, and small business owners. First, allowing more students to walk safely to and from school will take cars off the road and reduce traffic congestion in our neighborhood. Further, the current speed limit of Linebaugh is 45 miles per hour, which is dangerously high for a road next to an elementary school. Though the speed limit drops to 20 miles per hour at the start and end of school days, children are unable to cross the road without jaywalking through traffic or taking a much longer route away from their homes. The setup is dangerous and untenable, and we cannot afford to keep the status quo. Second, small businesses, particularly those at West Chase Town Center, would significantly benefit from this proposed crosswalk by connecting communities north of Linebaugh to the many small, wonderful businesses south of Linebaugh. One example is the neighborhood Colonial Gardens, which is next to West Chase Elementary School, and is a few hundred feet away from dozens of small businesses at West Chase Town Center. However, due to the lack of an established pedestrian crosswalk, residents must drive. What would be a 2-minute walk instead is a 5-minute drive. At best, this increases congestion, traffic, and takes away valuable parking spaces from our small businesses. At worst, it needlessly pushes away business elsewhere and makes our roads less safe. This crosswalk would be a huge asset to the business community. We understand and respect that our community has a diverse set of opinions and viewpoints on this project, some of whom voiced their opinions here today. However, we'd like the Commission to know that there is a high level of support in our neighborhood for this project. Much of the support is from working parents like myself who are unable to be active participants at our HOA meetings or speak here today. Finally, the Tampa Bay Times recently found that Hillsborough County is one of the most lethal counties in the United States for pedestrians. We should continue to make every effort to reduce this danger, particularly for our young students, and make our streets and communities safer. This crosswalk is precisely the project to do so, and is an efficient use of our tax dollars. Thank you for your work to allocate these funds to these projects, and we look forward to seeing this new crosswalk built at our elementary school. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Akins. Next up is Bill Johnson in person, followed by Adamir Sacido in person.
Good morning, whoever is here at this meeting. I invoke the number 5 amendment to the 11 commissioners and on the last meeting. And I just here for the benefits of the Amendment 5 and to the 2 corporations, which is the commissioners and the court. Circuit 15, and I believe you got eight corporations and governing system. And the 50 states the same thing in cities in U.S. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bill Johnson, followed by Eric DeIndia. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, commissioners. First of all, I'd like to thank you. Last time I had a permit problem after the storm, the hurricanes that we had, so you were able to get my permits for me. There was a little glitch there somewhere, but it was taken care of, so I thank you for that. What I'm here for today is we're all concerned with the EPC and the wetlands, and I live on the Alafai River. I've lived there for 70 years. I was a victim of the storm. One of the properties I bought in September of last year, and then 26 days later, the storms came, and I had to tear that property down, build a new seawall. It cost me $300,000 so far. But then now what we have is we have people out there, one individual at 8612 who has built a seawall without permitting, and really EPC doesn't seem to know what to do about it. I've got a complaint in on it, but no one seems to want to prosecute this guy or make him clean up. The main thing the EPC is concerned with is, well, we're going to fine him. Well, a fining's not going to clean up the river. And I know a gentleman last time meeting was here that he got an award for cleanup. So we're all concerned with cleaning up the Alafaya. I've lived there on the river for, like I said, 70 years. And so it doesn't need to just be a fine. Somebody needs to clean up what he has made a mess out of. And underneath what he's made a mess of is another mess that's been there for years of people putting riffraff and cinder block that he's let all his buddies and people like that put on the river. So it's really, I've tried to make a call into somebody where we could have a sit down and go over what's going on there. But if I can have your help in that, I'd sure appreciate. Somebody really needs to come out and look at this. It's right there by the Civic Center. There's a public park across the way there, right from him, and so it's a problem. And then one other thing, I had the county out there and build a. They cleaned up all the ditches, which thanks again for that. But they left my property off. There's a culvert there that they wouldn't do. I'm getting ready to put a new sidewalk in. I appreciate if they could come back. I've had a couple people come out, but I haven't seen any work going on. If they could come and replace that pipe that's clogged up. They did the whole block, but the whole block, really, it was just mine that was the problem. So if we could look into that at 8614 Parkway Circle, I'd sure appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Body and staff can look at that. Okay, the last speaker this morning, Eric DeIndia. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Eric DeIndia. I'm also a West Chase resident. I'd like to make 4 points on the subject of why I'm also in opposition to this proposal to install a pedestrian light in front of West Chase Elementary. First, a crosswalk with existing cross guards and traffic lights already exists at Montague Boulevard nearby. Secondly, as previously stated, there's a school bus that already transports kids from West Park Village to the school and back. A more significant safety hazard exists with our uneven sidewalks throughout the entire community of some 3,500 units, and yet there doesn't appear to be much money to address this true safety hazard. Instead, the county appears to be preparing to spend about $1 million to build a crosswalk for the convenience of what I understand to be less than 50 elementary school students. I'm also concerned about the negative impacts on the small businesses across from the West Chase Elementary caused by school parents parking in the parking spots while escorting their children across the street. This will further decrease limited parking available for customers during the morning and undoubtedly reduce business because of customers having to park further away and probably passing on the opportunity if it becomes too inconvenient. So in summary, I believe the installation of a pedestrian traffic light will add significant congestion to Linebaugh Avenue, impacting a significant percentage of West Chase residents while accommodating a relatively small number of West Chase students, also that they don't have to travel a little further to cross safely under the protection of crossing guards and a traffic light. So thank you for your time and consideration on this matter. Prepared to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good morning.
Appreciate your comments. Okay, that closes the public comment portion of the agenda. Can we have a motion to approve the consent?
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Wolstill, second, Commissioner Cohen. Please record your vote on the consent agenda.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Fine, I believe we have a 10 o'clock time certain.
We have a 10 o'clock public hearing. This is to conduct a public hearing to receive citizens' input and discuss whether to arbitrate a Tampa Bay water use permit. And this is item D1. Kevin Moran is here to present this item.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kevin Moran, Environmental Services Division Director. This public hearing is required by Board Policy 03039 to ensure citizen involvement in Tampa Bay water projects. The policy requires staff to set a public hearing to allow citizens access to the technical information regarding Tampa Bay water's water use permits and to review and comment on those proposed applications prior to the county's decision on whether to arbitrate. Tampa Bay Water is submitting a modification to an existing permit which will allow Tampa Bay Water to withdraw additional water from the Alafia River. Currently, Tampa Bay Water is allowed to withdraw 10% of the flows greater than the established minimum flow for the Alafia River, and that withdrawal is capped at 60 million gallons per day. They are requesting that the withdrawal quantity be increased to 19% over the established minimum flow of the Alafia River with a new maximum daily withdrawal quantity of 75 million gallons per day. Staff does not have an objection to the permit modification and recommends that the board does not arbitrate the proposed Tampa Bay water permit. This is a public hearing. Staff's here for questions.
All right, thank you, sir. This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to speak to the item? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Denise Herndon, and I was raised on the East Coast in Broward County. You go there now, Dade County, it's nothing but a concrete city. You county commissioners approved 10,000 new homes that's going to take up wildlife habitat. All of a sudden, we're hearing on the news, bear eats somebody, gator eats somebody. We're invading our natural animals' homes. And what do we have to do? Provide water for these people that we've already got a great place. You want to increase tourism, but who is really paying for those jobs? It's very low-income people. Most of them are making minimum wage. It's not the motel owners that are having to find places to live. They're the ones that you are working for. You're not working for all the people. As I've said before, when you start this meeting, you start with the Pledge of Allegiance, the last 5 words, liberty and justice for all. Not just the rich people here, not just your contributors. We need to think about our natural resources. So whether you take it out of the ground or you take it out of the river, you're still taking it out of the earth in some way. Do we have to be like California where everything's drying up because you keep, oh, come on, come on, come on, people, let's make Tampa Bay great. We're already great. We're great because we do have these natural resources. And you guys just wanted to have all these sports teams that years ago I saw a cartoon. It was these little aliens coming in on a spaceship. And boy, this must be really rich world because look at how much the people are making just to play a game. And it is ridiculous what baseball players, football players, all kinds of sports are making. And the people that are really hurting are the ones in the concession stands, but the people that are making the money are who you guys are really working for, to take our resources away from us. Let's keep Tampa Bay great and stop this building that's going on. You can stop it before. Oh, well, fish hawk, you don't have water in the morning, no water pressure. Thank previous county commissioners. Move somewhere else. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Would anyone else like to speak to the item? Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Move approval.
Motion by Commissioner Cohen, second Commissioner Welstel. Don't see anyone in the queue. Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay. Bonnie?
Commissioners, we have everybody here for items B1, B2, and B3. If you'd like to waive your rules to hear that a few minutes early.
So moved.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Welstel, second Commissioner Myers to waive our rules. Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay.
Thank you. We're going to take items B1, B2, and B3. There will be one presentation, but there are separate votes on each item.
Okay. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. John Muller, Director for Facilities Management and Real Estate Services. Deputy County Administrator Horwedel is here with me. And as well, we have Under Sheriff St. John and his staff with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for this item. Can I have the presentation up, please? So I'm here this morning to present 3 related items with regards to the land exchange for a new Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Operations Center. So item B1, that's the actual exchange contract with Ybor City Holdings, or YCH, you may hear me say YCH, and related approvals, and the budget amendment required to initiate phase one of a two-phase exchange. Item B2, that is the interlocal agreement with HCO that will define the funding for HCSO to complete the move. And our presentation will focus on item B1 and B2. I will touch on B3. This is related, but not a direct part of the exchange agreements or interlocal agreements. How is it related? Well, one of the HCSO properties in Ybor to be exchanged is a parking lot. Today, that's used by our Entrepreneurial Collaboration Center, which is in Ybor City for overflow event parking. And this is merely a license from YCH and their affiliate, Ybor Veradero Holdings, which will allow the ECC to continue to use that overflow parking lot after the phase one exchange is completed. So this is a slide of how we, a review of how we arrived here. In May 2024, we received an unsolicited proposal from YCH, which was subsequently posted publicly in accordance with land exchange and community redevelopment area statutes in order to seek other bids. The YCH submittal was the only submittal, after which staff worked to draft a final contract, which reflected agreed upon terms. We did bring that back to the BOCC, if you recall, on at the December 18th, 2024 meeting for approval of concept. I won't repeat all the details from that meeting. They're up here, but we'll restate that the proposed property exchange offers a larger secure site in the Falkenberg corridor with 260,000 square feet of future expansion, which will accommodate the necessary growth over several decades. On the next slide here, with regards to the land exchange, as a reminder, this is a two-phased exchange at our request. This is a lights on, make sure the lights are on, and then lights off move with regards to critical operations such as dispatch. The county has planned 3 years to construct a new communication center and tower at the new property and then complete all the other necessary move details. We obviously want to beat that, but we want to be prudent in our contract. Phase one, we receive our property, fee simple title, and we relinquish the two smaller of our 5 parcels. The agenda item requests approval of commercial paper to pay YCH $24,114,580. However, 3 years later, when we complete our exchange, we receive $25,669,402 for a net of just over $1.5 million to the county. There's no change from what I told you in December. On the next slide here, we prepared an estimate of the move at the time, which in December, which I had told you would be just under 40 M. We do have a requested modification to increase that amount to $48,784,000 today for more pre-investment to increase the size of the hardened communications from the original size of 13,000 square feet to 32,000 square feet. So this increased size will provide a few things. It'll provide a command and control room that's Cat 5 rated, which HCSO staff really doesn't have, the sheriff's operation during emergencies and storms. It'll provide, again, sufficient future space for data servers and other hardware is very critical software that be moving over there and servers. And then it will also include shell space, which we can finish out to accommodate future increases in the dispatch staff due to population growth and other reasons. So you see that requested change there. So on this last slide on funding, what does this all mean financially? So the land exchange, or item B1, as I mentioned, that's a budget amendment and no change. On item B2, the interlocal, the county has already allotted $30 million in a CIP to fund the move. The $30 million was to be supplemented by a needed $730 of R3M major repair renovations, and $3 million, which was already a planned 911 equipment future upgrades, and the remainder from HCSO budget realignments to complete the move. As I mentioned previously, We are asking to increase that initial one by $9 million, which would require the $15 million that was already mentioned when you added to the previous amount. The agenda item requests that this amount be considered in the fiscal year 26 budget as an addition to the CIP project. As I mentioned, the other third item has no financial impact, agenda item B3. So that's a lot. Let me go through what we're asking today just briefly. First, there in your approvals, there's a resolution authorizing us to complete the exchange. There's the land exchange agreement itself. I'll note that we have completed the public notice for the exchange as required by the statutes. And this is an important point. We've actually completed our due diligence. Normally, you'll see contracts that come up and we'll ask you for a period of time for due diligence. This is too important to have waited. This includes conducting the public siting meeting and the land use hearing officer approvals for the communications tower. That has been done, and that was in your agenda item. We have leasebacks that we mentioned previously for parcel 1 and now parcel 2. So again, 3-year move. We can't move tomorrow, but so we are prepared to do an orderly transition. We also included some protection for ourselves in the form of an escrow agreement. I'm going to have to knock on wood should something happen to any of the principals of YCH or anything, which we don't want to have happen, but we have protected ourselves in the interim. And I'll note some things that that I may not have covered in December. So the current building occupant, Grow Financial, who's been quite honestly gracious in allowing us to do our due diligence prior, they are a regulated federal credit union. They also need to conduct an orderly transition and move. They've told us that they're very precise, 76 days, but we've allowed a little bit if they need more. But in order for them to do the proper transition, given that they're subject to a lot of federal acts with regards to being a banking facility. I mentioned also the interlocal agreement. HCSO, basically through that agreement, will manage and lead, though we expect and we will participate as part of a task group with various county departments to support this. This is a heavy lift. It's just starting after today. And lastly, 2 minor things. There was some Grow branded furniture and some minor furniture that they asked to stay with them. So that had an estimate reduction in YCH's value. However, on the other hand, we upped considerably our easement, perpetual easement on the YCH, so we considered those both as offsetting for the transaction. That's it. And we're here for any questions as well.
Okay. Good. You want to add anything?
Yes, just briefly, as you've heard, this is a very complex and involved transaction. There's a lot of credit that goes to John and his staff for negotiating this agreement. We've also had significant help from the county attorney's office, and I'd be extremely remiss not to mention the support from the sheriff's office. It's extremely gratifying to bring this proposal forward. It's not often you see something with so many benefits that saves us not only time, saves us money, and allows for expansion capability 30 years into the future. We are very, very pleased to bring this forward. We think it's an outstanding proposal. The total cost of this is less than half of the $113 million that we had estimated it would cost to build a very similar facility. So from our perspective, spending $48 million, yes, it is an increase from what we had originally thought, but there are quite a number of good reasons for that increase, not the least of which is it continues to provide expansion capability for our dispatch staff and provide reduction in call handling times in the future. So we are pleased to present this. We are very thankful for the support of the county administrator and Office of Budget and Management because we have all worked as a team on this, and we're hopeful for your support. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate the presentation. Before we go into board discussion, does the Sheriff's Office want to make any comments?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
On behalf of the sheriff, thank you. Thank you for taking the opportunity and time to review this project, and we're very excited, and we couldn't be more grateful for the county's assistance and help and the entire team, and they've worked so tirelessly to bring this to this point today. So thank you. Thank you for your consideration.
And sir, please state your name.
I'm sorry, Thomas St. John, Sheriff's Office.
Okay, great, thank you. Going to board discussion, Commissioner Cohen.
Thank you very much. I don't really think it's possible to describe what a big achievement this is for the county. And I just have to say right off the top that this is an investment in public safety and our quality of life for generations to come. This is an opportunity that took a lot of creativity and thought in order to execute. And for our staff, this was just a tremendous home run. To Greg and John and to the county administrator and the county attorney and the sheriff's office and everyone who worked on this, this is going to be something that people are going to thank us for in the future without even realizing what was actually done. And I know that each of the board members had a briefing on this because there are a lot of complexities to both the negotiation and to what was executed. But what I want to say is you have all done a tremendous job of not just bringing us this product, but saving us a lot of money, as Greg outlined, as we do this. So I would like to move approval, I think, of starting with B1 and see where we go.
No, well said, Commissioner Cohen. I don't think it can be stated any better. Truly a generational project that it was a team approach to get it to the finish line. So we got a motion by Commissioner Cohen, second by Commissioner Wostel on B1. Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay, and B2.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion Commissioner Myers, second Commissioner Cohen. Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
And then B3.
Move approval.
Motion Commissioner Wostel, second Commissioner Miller. Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
Awesome. Outstanding.
Thank you very much for all three meetings, all your time. Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our next item is also a time certain, or I don't know if Commissioner Cameron Cepeda, if you're ready for item F1? Okay. Then I think we could take item F1. This is to request staff to provide a comprehensive update on road construction projects and traffic signal near Morgan High School.
Commissioner Cameron Cepeda.
Yes, I look forward to hearing this report right now by staff and then comment after. Thank you.
Adam Gormley will present this item.
Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, board members. Adam Gormley, Development Services Department. So there are several improvements that are required for the support of the Morgan High School on Westlake Road. There are two parties that are responsible for providing these improvements. One is the school board, and that they have a requirement to build a signal at the school entrance, as well as widening Westlake Road on the school frontage to be 11-foot lanes and providing a 10-foot multi-purpose trail. The other obligee is Lennar Homes, and they are doing the widening of the rest of Westlake Road between 674 and Bishop Road to the south. Lennar has also committed to installing an additional traffic signal at the intersection of 674 and Westlake Road, and that is being done through a mobility fee agreement by which their mobility fees are going to fund that project. We have met with Lennar and have an update and had an inspection done of the progress of the work. And right now, the improvements to Westlake Road from Bishop Road to just north of the high school have been completed, and that includes the turn lanes for the school. The rest of the widening work on Westlake Drive is anticipated to be done by the end of May.
The traffic signal is at the school. The foundations are being poured this week, as well as the foundations at 674 and Westlake Drive. That will be in advance of installation of the signal, which should be done shortly thereafter. The last piece of the work is the work at 674 and Westlake, and this is a traffic signal that's not direct access to the school, but it's a point where a lot of traffic will be going through to get to the school. That work includes also several turn lanes to widen the intersection and provide for more efficient traffic flow through there. That work on the road is expected to be done by mid-July, and work on the signal is underway. Currently, that is the piece that has the most variables to it. They're anticipating that it will be done by the beginning of August. School year starts August 11th for students. The signal installation does have a little bit of complication in that it requires a removal of a TICO pole to accommodate the signal. Removal of that pole will require an easement on an adjacent property for an overhead power line that will be moved. I've spoken both with Lennar and with TICO, seeking to facilitate that work. It is anticipated that will be done before the start of the school year, although we are going to be working very closely with both Lennar and TICO and have established biweekly meetings to discuss the status of that and see if there's any assistance that they need that we can provide. TICO has been very open to facilitating that work being done, although they've made the point and understand this, that they can't relocate a line over somebody's private property till an easement's in place. But again, that easement is in progress. The easement language is with the attorney for that property owner. So short version is believe that these improvements will be done by the time that the school year starts on August 11th. And available for any questions.
Commissioner Cameron Spada.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Gormley, for that comprehensive update. I really appreciate that because some of the board members and families were very concerned about that, that was going to be done on time. Thank you for that update. And, because there will be about 3,500 students when it's at capacity, plus staff, of course, and 40 buses going through there. Plus, there will continue to be construction there. So there was a lot of concern for that. And so it's very important, and I really appreciate that. That's going to help them a lot with the ease of mind that all that's happening. So, it's very important for the safety that's completed and ready before the school starts. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Commissioner Miller.
Thank you for that report. Based on the information that you provided, is it possible that you could come back, I think we have 1 or 2 meetings in July, whatever the last meeting in July is, and give us an update? And if indeed it's not going to be completed in time, can you have sort of what you're going to do to mitigate until it is completed so that we know we can provide a plan for our constituents and make sure that, those students going to school are safe?
Yes, certainly. Excellent idea.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
do that. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cohen.
Yeah, I was down there with school board member Rendon, and I just wanted to compliment everyone on obviously taking this very seriously to try to get this done before the school year. That's excellent because it's obviously very much needed.
Very, sir.
All right. I appreciate the work.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Bonnie.
And thank you. Just because of timing, we only have one board meeting in July, and it might be late, so we can even perhaps update you by memo in advance. Mm-hmm. Okay. We have our 10:30 item. This is item G1. This is to receive a report on a potential indoor and outdoor sports facility sites. And we have Greg and John Muller up again. And we also have Rob Higgins from the Sports Commission available, and then Eric Hart from the Tampa Sports Authority.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. For the record, Greg Horwoodell, Deputy County Administrator. Last summer, the board directed staff to investigate options for indoor and outdoor sports facilities. We have done that, and those were based upon the recommendations in 2 studies that you'll hear more about from Rob Higgins in just a moment, just to refresh your memory as to what those studies called for. So we have a brief presentation for you that goes through some of the various sites and what we looked at, why we thought some might be viable or not. The reason we're here today is to get direction from the board on how you would like us to proceed on this item. So with that, I will introduce Rob Higgins from the Sports Commission. Rob.
Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, everybody. Rob Higgins, Executive Director of the Tampa Bay Sports Commission. As I always do, just want to start with a quick thank you for your unwavering support of sports tourism and all that we do to make this such a great championship community. I'm going to provide, as Greg referenced, just a quick refresher in terms of the success of the Hillsborough County Tournament Sportsplex, as well as the 2 pre-construction feasibility studies that Greg referenced. I'm really pleased to report that the Hillsborough County Tournament Sportsplex has been a tremendous success. In advance of the construction of that complex, a feasibility study was done. That study predicted that in the first 5 years of the facility, that the complex would generate 150 events. Now, as we look back over those first 5 years, it actually produced 161 events. I would say, more importantly, the report predicted that it would generate 151,000 hotel visitor room nights. The facility actually ended up generating over 218,000 hotel visitor room nights. For perspective, year 5 alone produced over 75,000 hotel visitor room nights. Now, as we look in the first 2 quarters of this fiscal year, we actually are over 85,000 hotel visitor room nights, which that basically, as you look at what the report predicted versus what it generated, it was a 44% increase compared to what that unbiased third party had predicted pre-construction. Again, a few other helpful stats when it comes to the tournament sportsplex in those first 5 years. It had over 372,000 attendees, 174,000 of which traveled here, generated nearly $2 million in bed tax alone in those first 5 years. And then it also served as this great balance of kids, our local kids, having home field advantage and not having to spend money to travel to other places, while also generating significant visitor spending. To recap on the indoor facility, what the third-party consultant is predicting there, 169 events with 181,000 hotel visitor room nights. And then when you look at the baseball, softball facility, they're predicting somewhere in a range, depending on which option is selected, between 145 to 152 events. That would result in somewhere between 171,000 and 215,000 hotel visitor room nights. The reason why I bring up the success of the sportsplex, as well as these 2 studies when it comes to the 2 facilities that you're going to hear more about today, is because I think in a lot of other communities, no disrespect to them, when these pre-construction feasibility studies are done and then you're voted on and you elect to move forward or not move forward with the complex, the study goes somewhere on a shelf, collects a lot of dust, and it's never seen again. From our standpoint, we don't believe in the field of dreams mentality, the build it and they will come philosophy when it comes to dealing with our great decision makers like you. We hold ourselves accountable to those reports, and we want to understand the true return on investment. And we find that to be really important in terms of making sure that we're benchmarking against what, again, an unbiased third party believes will happen when it comes to that. So we're really proud of what's happened with this tournament sportsplex. Not only was it predicted to happen, we've met and exceeded expectations with it, and we, again, appreciate all your support. With that, I'll turn it over to John to review some of the next steps.
Thank you, Rob. Can I have the presentation up, please? Okay. On this slide, I just wanted a reminder on the recommended size here. We're talking about a 174.5 square foot indoor facility. We're going to cover that one first. I'll touch on outdoor last, which means for a new site, we were looking for somewhere around 15 acres of land, unless we could be part of a larger site which had shared parking. Then that would reduce it to, say, 6 acres plus or minus is our estimate there. And again, the cost was in the study was just under $70 million. While initially we looked at over 18 potential sites, we took a final look at 3 areas, which we'll talk about today: West Shore, the county's Mosey site, and adjacent to the existing TSA tournament sportsplex. So on the sportsplex, we are suggesting not to pursue this further, not because it's a success, as you just heard. It was attractive in that we own land there, and there could be some shared operations with the sportsplex. But parking and traffic considerations could impact the ability to support simultaneous use of both of them at the same time. And then given also that we're making large investments in expanding our emergency operations in this area. Actually, the county will, and the sportsplex, which work together during emergencies to provide parking and laydown area. I think those came into factors as to why we're not recommending further pursuit of that area. With regards to the West Shore area, this was a consideration for us brought by the hotels in the area. I mean, we have to note that they do have a high concentration of supply in that area of the county. However, to date, a location is not defined at this point, and we have not gotten a formal proposal on the financial details. So we're not eliminating this possibility. We just really need more information in order to vet and compare it in terms of investment, and then nail down locations. And for this reason, we've stated that it appears to be the one that may take the longest in terms of time at this point, at this stage. But again, it's still in play. And then lastly, let's talk about the Mosey option. So we did take a deeper look at that and included our TSA partners over there, and specifically to see what they thought of a potential to linking to the proposed redevelopment that we are working on. They do see an interest in a facility that could link not only to the Mosey attraction that's on the site, but also to the future support of a hotel on that site. This site could very well be a catalyst for new development and also provide a boost to Mosey with increased visitation. We're looking at alternative concepts there, but I'll mention in at least one concept we would repurpose, do the adaptive reuse of the Mosey West building by sharing it between both the TSA and the Mosey, which links the two, and you could rebrand that area and really take care about using about 40,000 square feet of the intended 174,000 square feet could be supported in that building. So it's very interesting to look at. There, traffic improvement, internal parking, most likely structural parking would be key points of coordination with any future development. But we did take a deeper dive at that option. I'm going to shift, after covering those three real briefly, to the outdoor sports facility. We still have one site which is interest. This is the outdoor sports facility, which have a greater focus on baseball and softball. One identified location is in East County. Not far from the I-4, I-75 intersection. It will need a minimum, according to the study, of a land assemblage of 70 to 77 acres. We do know there's interest in the area to sell to us. Again, when you look at this, most likely because of the configuration of the land out there, we're probably looking at somewhere between 70 to 100 acres to assemble. We do want to note that this area, and I think we both noted this previously, so I'll repeat it, will require some traffic improvements as you bring vehicles off main secondary roads. $8.4 million, we understand, is already budgeted for improvements in this area, but if we move further, we would do a deeper study in that to see if there's additional and how much that would be. I'm going to turn it over to Greg Horwedel here for the last slide.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Rob. So moving forward would require some investment by the county. And as part of that, we need to know where we're going to draw the funds from. We have some potential funding sources that we've identified. The tournament sports facilities was listed as an item in the renewed CIT. Other sources are $2 million in budgeted BP funds that I believe Chair Hagan had set aside a few years ago. Now we're coming up on trying to use those funds within a certain time frame, so that could be a funding source. Existing CIT revenue, which expires at the end of 2026. We do have some additional dollars every year. And tourist development tax revenue. That, I think, is probably the most viable source. It's what we use for the tournament sports complex. It is geared toward these types of activities, and I believe the county administrator, I won't speak for her, but at least in our conversations, that has been a preferred source for these types of facilities. Finally, I would note that the development of the Mosey property would generate additional ad valorem revenue. It could be used as a portion of that to support the operations of the complex if the board moves forward on this project and if you designate the Mosey site as the preferred site. If, as John mentioned, the West Shore hoteliers come up with a proposal, we would of course present that to you. But at this stage, there's still a lot of unknowns. However, they have suggested there could be some private dollars that go in to support either operations or construction and operations. For the indoor sports facility, we would suggest, if the board desires to move forward, that Mosey does seem to have the most attributes to make this a successful project. It could serve as a catalyst for development. We would suggest that the Tampa Sports Authority, our partner with the tournament sports complex, has done an outstanding job of managing that complex. We would suggest that they be directly involved in this, and we would like to get them to present a more detailed budget and timeline for your consideration. All of the zoning considerations that the city of Tampa may have would be answered, and we would be able to use this, as I said previously, as a catalyst for developing the entirety of the Mosey site. Finally, on the outdoor sports facility, if the board chose to move forward with that as well, we would respectfully suggest that we have some dollars set aside so that we can start purchasing the property that would be necessary. And with that, I do believe that concludes our presentation. We do have, in addition to Rob Higgins, Eric Hart from the Tampa Sports Authority is here. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you for your time and attention.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate all the comments and remarks by you and Rob and John. I think you did an excellent job of updating us and really summarizing the history, impact, and really where we are with respect to tournament facilities. As a commissioner who's led the charge for these facilities, I'm going to just jump in here and make a couple of comments. I'm very proud to have championed many parks and facilities over the years. I mean, there have been a lot. Too many to name, frankly. And there's no question that both the indoor and outdoor facilities will be highly successful. Frankly, I want to do both and plan on pursuing both before my time ends here on the BOCC. But I think for the purposes of today's discussion, I'd like to focus on the indoor facility. While as a former baseball player and coach and whose daughters played travel softball for 9 years, my heart wants to pursue baseball and softball, but I can't ignore the special opportunity we have with the indoor facility. Based on the consultant's reports, both will be economic and tourism drivers and revenue generators. However, by building the indoor facility on the Mosey property, as I believe John said, this will be the catalyst for the most, I believe, most transformative economic development project Hillsborough County has ever been associated with. It's estimated to be, I believe, a $2 billion project. And additionally, I know staff believes that the indoor facility will help to accelerate the development and make it even more attractive. I want to back up just for a second. I mean, it was October of 2012 when I gave my first presentation to the BOCC outlining the benefits associated with multi-sport complexes. I outlined 3 of them: the outdoor complex, indoor gym, and also baseball, softball. Again, at that time, being a baseball guy, I wanted to go that route, but Rob was emphatic at the time that the multi-sport was the number one need, that we needed to go in that direction, and so we did. And as Rob indicated, 6 years and several BOCC votes later, we opened the facility, and as Rob indicated, it's shattered all of their projections. In 2012, I said these facilities were revenue generators through visitor spending, because that's what the experts told me. They said, well, I can tell you after 9 years of my daughter playing travel softball, I've felt it in the pocketbook. These complexes are big business. I want to just highlight a couple of things. In 2024 alone, the complex generated almost 90,000 room nights. There was $15.6 million of hotel revenue generated, and the bed taxes generated in 2024 were $937,202. And additionally, $1.4 million in revenue was generated at the complex itself. And the 2 other things I want to point out, to Rob's credit and Eric's credit, our reports are extremely conservative. Number one, when you have tournaments and tournament facilities, the organizers have what they call room blocks that are set aside for the events, and those are the numbers that we capture. However, not everyone goes through the room blocks, so there's a lot of rooms that slip through the cracks and are not even being shown on the performer. Secondly, the numbers that we show do not include all the direct spending that occurs there outside of the venue. Again, I can tell you from experience, whether it's Myrtle Beach or Chattanooga or many other places, you spend $500 to $1,000 in addition to the hotel and whatever expenses are associated with it. So you're spending money that generates sales tax revenue, none of which are captured in these figures. Again, and it's intentionally, they do it just because they want to go directly on what we can show 100%, so no one can question the numbers. And again, they use those to guide us moving forward. Similar to the Sportsplex, with both of these projects, we've been very methodical in how we've moved forward. We did confirm the viability of both by the feasibility studies. Then we, based on that, we asked staff to review the reports and come back with potential locations. Then the board approved tournament facilities being on the CIT project list. And then our last discussion, we asked staff to look at land for baseball, softball, and authorize begin discussion with developers, and also look at Mosey and to come back with a funding plan. And that's basically where we are today. So for the purposes of today, I'm going to pass the gavel to the vice chair, and I want to make a motion that's essentially the second. I don't know if we can pull this up, but the last slide that you showed, the indoor facility portion. Can we pull that up, John?
The Mosey option, sir?
No, the last slide that had the next steps.
Right down.
Yeah. So the motion, and if I need to read it all, I will, but is the second section, indoor facility, consider Mosey, request TSA, consult with the Mosey's master developer, and so forth. That, and then I want to add one other part of the motion, is that that we specifically designate the $2 million in BP funding for use for the initial design work. And I want to point out, and I think Greg did, in 2019, we specifically identified $2 million to be used for an indoor athletic facility. So it's always been designated for such. So it is appropriate use. So I'll pass the gavel, and that'll be, that's the motion.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Hagan and a second by Commissioner Wustel. Commissioner Myers, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you so much. Mr. Chair, I don't know if you had my notes, but my notes have the same thing you just talked about, and so I think you were cheating somewhat. But anyway, I commend your comments and support what you have
Thank you.
said. And of course, you all know this is in District 3.
I left that out. I'll let you say that. I didn't take that from your notes.
No.
Okay, I know.
But also, it's a trifecta when we can work with the Sports Commission, the Sports Authority, and with facility management to always bring us an excellent information of why we should support a project like this in an indoor facility. And if we just reminisce off of the Women Final Four we just hosted last month, and all of their room nights and all of the guests that was here, the huge economic impact that that activity made for us here in Hillsborough County. And then also when we think about they're getting ready to build a new USF stadium right again in District 3. It's just a win-win for our county. So I'm just happy to support this indoor sports complex. And we know families travel, even those that are sitting on the bench waiting, the families travel to see their son or daughter play. So thank you all so much.
Commissioner Cohen?
Yeah, I just want to add that I agree with everything that's been said. I want to add that what makes this, I think, such a smart investment is that this is county-owned land. This is us doing something with our own land that we already own. And that is absolutely a good thing to maximize its use for taxpayers and visitors.
Commissioner Bowles, my apologies for skipping over you.
No worries at all. Again, I think we're all cheating off each other's sheets up here. But to the, I mean, we just talked about what you've done with the Ybor City group and how we've been able to really look at being innovative and scrutinizing how we're spending our dollars and being very good stewards with that money. The Sheriff's Complex is a great example of that with a Grow Financial. I think, it goes without saying, rather than scrounging around looking in the West Shore area for something that doesn't exist at the moment, not that that's not a great place to have it based on what you were saying with the beds over there, but to be able to do that and partnering perhaps with USF to some degree, that we would capture those same dollars on there and then overflow that would go into that area. I think the worm catalyst has been used for that whole redevelopment of that acreage around there. We talked about that earlier this year when I opened up for the IMAX that we talked about. County's invested a few $1 million into that facility here recently, and I think that this would continue to get that synergy to keep it going. And I know that somewhere in that immediate area, it seems like there's a point that City of Tampa, Temple Terrace, and County all kind of intersect, depends, and that would kind of be maybe something that maybe we could partner with all three municipalities to some degree. I know Mayor Andy Ross is very interested in what happens right there because it's right across the line. So is Jane Castor, Mayor Castor. So I think that we have a really unique opportunity here to breathe some life back into that facility that I used to bring my young children to, my children when they were younger, I should say, and have now experienced that again with my 11-year-old daughter. And I think that if we don't seize this opportunity, it's going to be one that we're going to miss out on. So if I'd second the motion and third it if there was possible. So I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
Commissioner Cameron Cepeda?
Yes, thank you. So much has already been said here on the board that I agree with, but which I won't reiterate because it's just been amazing. But one of the things that why I really believe this particular location is really great is that no land acquisition is required. It's saving money, and I think this is awesome. Definitely have my support. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
I too won't repeat everything that's been said, but I'm particularly excited about the new life that it will breathe into the Museum of Science and Industry. I'm very excited about that convergence of sports and science and technology and all of that and all that it's going to bring to the area. With that, seeing no other discussion, please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
And thank you very much, board members, for your comments and support. And I want to thank all staff for all their hard work getting us here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. We very much appreciate your direction. Thanks.
Okay, Bonnie?
Thank you. And that's all we have for the agenda, other than future discussion items. And really, I would like to thank Greg and John Mueller and all the partners, because today, Board, you approved 2 really transformational projects that will make a difference in our community for decades to come.
Well said. Commissioner Wilster?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just request that county staff provide a memorandum update to our offices about the testimony we heard about the Linebaugh crosswalk. And if we can get with Mr. Saucedo, because I see he's still waiting, and I wasn't even sure what he had asked for, but if we can figure out what he's needing since he's still here in the front row there, I'd appreciate it.
All right, thank you. And then I just have one. I don't know if this can be a memo or if it needs to come back to us, but we heard comments this morning, concerns on a new parade policy with barricades. And I know I read an email yesterday, and I had similar concerns, not as much from a cost standpoint, but for a couple of the parades, they're in people's front yards, people in lounge chairs, sitting down watching the parade. I really don't think we need to put barricades up in their front yards. So if we can take another look at that, and again, I don't know if that needs to be a memo or discussion. I know we don't have a whole lot of time with the parade season almost here, but if we can just do that. All right, thank you. Any other items? If not, we're adjourned.